Hey again, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to another episode of Practical Talk. I am your host, Heather Holloway. You know me as a former television and radio producer and now social media expert. And bringing back to the show is our BFF from the South. We got Matt May, and he is from Premier Team Building and Interactive Experiences. Welcome back, Matt.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's so funny to hear you say from the South because, yeah, I live there now, but I'm originally from upstate New York, so I'm a Yankee.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm from Pennsylvania, but I lived in the South for a long time too. So I called myself a country fried Yank. So feel free, feel free to take that. Cause listen, I still eat grits every single day. Every single day I have a bowl of grits. Now, I don't know have you gotten to that point yet or no?
I am not at that point, but I find it very difficult to say no to a really good bowl of shrimp and grits.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like that is just, oh my gosh. Let's just take a moment for a bowl of shrimp and grits. It's like a warm hug. It's like if you're having a bad day, you go fix yourself one of those bowls and you're good to go. We don't get that in Pennsylvania. I'm gonna have to make that myself, but I digress. We're not here to talk about shrimp and grits. We're here to talk about you as an author. And so I thought my audience would really like to hear if you've ever been, if you have a business or if you're a coaching consultant or if you're a thought leader, if you're trying to make it to that next level, everybody says, write a book, write a book, write a book. But dude, is that intimidating? So you've gone through it, Matt. Like what, how did you even get to the point that you were going to write a book?
It all just kind of it was one of those perfect storms. Everything collided. I'm a grammar nerd and a punctuation nerd and all that. And I have always done really well in English in school and everything. For a time, I was a certified English teacher in the state of Florida. So my biggest issue is generally, Heather, I overwrite. And then I have to ash myself because I write too much. So I don't know. People have said, oh, you should write a book. And they've been telling me that for years. And last year, I don't know, it was during the pandemic, somebody said something, oh, you should write a book. And I said, what do I have to say? And they said, you have a lot to say, right? So then I literally came up with two ideas at the same time. One was Take the Fear Out of Team Building, which has been written. And it's a short book. It's like 60 pages, and it's not a manual of activities and whatnot to do team building. It's really more of a, hey, this is a guide if you've been tasked with presenting a team building experience. So I did that, but actually before that, I started writing what is now my second book, but it's the one I did first because I thought it was going to be easier. And I don't even remember how it came about, but it was basically my professional career has been a very, very varied path. So that the title of it, at least for now, is Don't Fight the Flow, Following Your Organic Path. And it started out with the idea of, my parents and certainly their parents, that generation had 1-2 jobs and that was it. You started with a company and you may have retired there or you may have done one lateral move or a higher move, but that was it. And company loyalty, as well as employee loyalty, and I don't mean this to sound negative, is not really a thing these days.
That's right.
For whatever reason, not because people are nasty, but because people are open to exploring other opportunities. And it's kind of, I think this all came about when I was talking to somebody saying how I went from point A to point M to point G to point, but ultimately to get to where I was at that point a year ago. So I started writing that book and then I don't know, I hit a wall and I said, well, let me work on the team building. Couldn't really do anything. And literally one morning I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I said, oh my gosh, I got to go. And I wrote the majority of the book that day in one day.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I have those days too. So that is so cool to know that other people do that. Literally 2 days last week, because I had to, I'm about to launch a webinar and I have a coach. Everybody should have a coach. I'm just going to throw it out there. So I have a coach and she's like, hey, I'm going to need your slides by Friday. I'm like, okay. So there were 2 mornings that I don't even know what spirit got me up and they're like, hey, we got to go work. I feel that those hours are the most productive and holy smokes, that is lightning in a bottle. So you literally at 6 a.m. were like, boom, you wrote Take the Fear Out of Team Building.
For the most part, I would say 75% of it was written in one sitting. Wow. And it was just, okay. And then I had to go and figure out, okay, well, this really needs to be grouped here and this needs to be grouped here. oh, that would make a great chapter. And it was one of these, and I am so type A and very linear. And I probably talked about this when I was here on your show talking about team building, is I can do data and tasks, left brain tasks, and meet a deadline. But coming up with the creative stuff, something just has to spark in me. And then it's like, boom, everything else has to get pushed aside. I got to go while the locomotive is. So yeah, I totally get that. And it's like, wow, it just comes out so quickly. And what I find is I can't type fast enough. So for somebody who doesn't consider himself scatterbrained or ADD or ADHD, and I, again, no negativity, but it's like, oh my gosh, I got to make that note because I don't want to forget it in 4 hours when I get to that chapter, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of kinetic but fun.
Yeah, right. Kinetic but fun. I love that. Did you totally DIY it, or did you get like a blueprint to write your book?
No, I DIY'd it.
DIY'd it?
Yeah. Say that 4 times fast. I did it myself. Now I did have proofreaders / editors. And I said, look, I want you to proofread this for spelling and grammar and mechanics, but I also want you to give me your thoughts. Like, yeah, you need to flesh this out more. This year, and mostly what I got was cut. You're overwriting. You've already said that. Cut. So that was basically it. And I think I had 6 or 8 people that did it for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was very helpful. And one thing that I learned, so I'm sure you're going to ask me something about that.
Yep.
That I had done was I gave it to them all left justified, because that's how I typed it. And I should have given it to them as though it were justified on either sides, the way the book will be, so that they were reading it. Because then you see things like, oh, why do you have 2 spaces there? Why do you see those other things that you don't necessarily see when you're not wrapping it around?
Oh, interesting. Okay. I would have never thought that. I mean, I know that's how I read books. That's how it, that's what I'm looking at. But as a writer of the book, I would have never thought of that.
Yep.
Wow.
So, and I also, I'll tell you, I self-published. Amazon makes it very easy if you're willing to do the homework and the research.
Okay.
Now, a lot easier to publish the paperback version. I think they're also doing hardcovers now than it is Kindle. I don't know why. Well, yes, I do, because you basically save your paperback, your book copy as a PDF, and you upload it and they print it. And that's what it is. When you convert it to the Kindle, you get paginations and page breaks and things that are weird. And I spent hours and hours making changes. Okay, redo it. And you see the little wheel. Okay, give it a minute or 2 until it catches up. Okay, now you proof it again. Okay, well, that page jumped up. That's good. But now I still have this whole, it's one of those things. Come on. So, and that's all because of the technology of the Kindle and whatnot. And I don't get all that. But anyway, where was I going with this? I self-published, and I bought before I was ready. I said, I'm ready to do this. Let me get a copy. And I got an author copy or sample copy. And it says, not for sale on the front. They give it to you. I said, ooh, let me look at it. And when I saw that, I said, I got to pull these margins in. I don't like how that they're not as wide as I thought they would be on the side of the page. So I still have that copy, and there's red markings all over it with notes I made to myself before I went back to.
Oh, that's so neat.
And that's pretty cool when you get it in your hand and it's like, oh wow, this is I feel like Michael Crichton, right?
Yeah, man. I was just gonna ask that. Like, that is your brain in a tangible form. It came from you, man. Like, what does that feel like?
It's kind of weird. It's pretty exciting. But now I don't know. And I don't say this to sound flippant or arrogant or anything, but there are still people who go, you wrote a book? Yeah. Oh my gosh. What? And they're so excited because, like you are right now. And I'm kind of like, it's only 6 pages. It's just kind of, And I'll be totally honest with you. Part of it was, yes, to put it out there, but really it was to enhance my speaking engagements, which is what I really love. And basically, and I was like, and I talked to somebody thinking, well, yeah, but I'm a published author, but I self-published it. It doesn't matter. If you took the time this is what I have learned. People don't care. First of all, most people don't look that far into it, quite honestly. And I published it under my LLC. So it is an actual, there's a company that has published it, even though I did all the work. So that's one
Yeah.
thing. It's kind of smoke and mirrors. So I'm totally giving away my secrets now.
You heard it here first, kids.
That's really, if you're a published author, whether you get somebody to publish it or you self-publish, you're doing a heck of a lot of work, right? And you're not going to, I hope I can say this, crap out there with your name on it. So even if you're self-publishing, you're hopefully doing, I went through the due diligence that a professional publishing company would have.
Yeah.
So I found that people don't, it doesn't really matter. They don't
Yeah.
really care. The fact that you're a published author and that you got it out there, good for you, however you got it out there.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, Matt, you are a published author. You did get it out there. So tell me, now that it's out there, how has it helped your business?
Again, really, it I guess gives me more credibility in people's minds, you know,
Yeah.
and the content was all in my head until I wrote the book. It was all there. I knew what I was talking, or at least I pretended I knew what I was talking about.
You do.
But then once you put it out on paper, so to speak, people go, oh, well, he must be. It's just a mindset that we, and what I mean, the collective we have. Oh, this person wrote it down. It must be true.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Well, if it's on Wikipedia, it must be true.
Yeah, right. It's on the internet. It's obviously true. Yeah. So, but so as an author, coach, business owner, if you have a book, that is huge for a lead magnet. You can send books out to gain awareness. Of course, if you're trying to get speaking engagements, you can send it out with a packet of information like, look what I did, to help that cred, right? There are so many ways that you can use that book to not only sell the book to make money, but monetize the book to enhance your business further. Are there any thoughts, or have you done anything like that with your book?
I have. One thing you can do. Oh, this is another thing. If you self-publish through Amazon, and I'm endorsing Amazon today with the self-publishing.
I love it. I love Amazon too.
You have to have an ISBN, right? It's the, I don't, something
international something B. I don't know. Yeah.
So if you go through Amazon Direct Kindle Publishing, KDP, I think that's what they call it, they will give you a free ISBN for your book.
Oh, nice.
However, if you want to then sell it outside of Amazon at another bookstore or bookseller or other online device, the ISBN they give you is not valid. So if you only want to sell on Amazon, you can get the freebie. If you also want to sell on, well, since I'm promoting Amazon, Barnes and Noble, for example, you have to buy your own ISBN. I think they're about $100, which is not going to break the bank.
Right.
Then Amazon will then use that one too, because that is the ISBN for your book wherever you sell it. So that was something I thought was interesting. It's like, oh, okay. For me, I was totally fine with only being on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I think I just went on a tangent. I don't remember what your question was. I'm sorry. I do this.
Yeah. No, it's perfect. I didn't even think about that. ISBN and all those little speed bumps along the road, especially if you're DIYing it, think about who's going to distribute it for you or publish it for you, and go search out those questions. Is it better just to go straight to get your ISBN and then bring it back to Amazon where you're not, maybe doing double the work, or if you're just gonna stay on Amazon, that's cool too. I mean, that's fine.
And that was okay for me. That was totally fine for me. And I learned so much. So another thing then is you can buy author copies through Amazon, and you're basically paying just the wholesale. You're paying for the printing, right?
Oh, nice.
And even if you're a Prime member, you still have to pay the shipping on your author copies.
Oh,
so I know, but I get it. You're paying to get them printed and into your hands. So that's one thing. And it's amazing to me. And this is where I'm going really Amazon after I just endorsed them. I could have people order a copy on the same day. And it's basically, they call it direct print or whatever. They basically print it then for whoever orders it. And they can be Prime and it can go out the next day. I can order 20, 30 author copies on the same day. And it will take at least 2 weeks to get to me.
Huh.
And I'm going, well, wait, if you're printing one for a real live customer, why can't you buy 20 or 30 at the same time and get them out? I don't know. That was one thing. So if you want copies in your hand and you self-publish and do it, order them 2 weeks before you plan to go live.
Okay.
So that's another thing that I learned. And another thing is if you can give away your Kindle 5 days within a 90-day period.
Okay.
So you can have not only promotions of, hey, I'm doing a special whatever promotion, and I use that if I have a speaking engagement. I print little slips or whatever and give them and say, okay, tomorrow you can download the Kindle of my book for free, but only tomorrow. You got to do it during the day tomorrow. Yeah. So that's kind of a nice little thing and again, I'm not making money on the book. I've made a little bit royalties, but it's more for me to get it into people's hands and let them read it. And
that's right. Because in your line of business, you have to talk to somebody, create an action plan, get the date down. I mean, you're talking about event planning. So it's not like go click here to purchase. But that book offers you the ability to have that handshake and that first cup of coffee, that first conversation that opens the door. It's like, here's a piece of valuable content, right? Everybody tells you produce a piece of valuable content that you can give your ideal prospects so that you can get that opportunity to follow up. Matt, this is beautiful. I love this so much. I love all of the tips that you gave us. Like, I want to run out there and write a book. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. I have a couple ideas, but we'll see if next week I wake up at 3 a.m. and magically write a book.
Just don't call me, please.
Okay, no problem. I won't call you.
After 8 to call me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be after 8 o'clock. This is amazing. By the way, if you want to get Matt's book, Take the Fear Out of Team Building, you can find it, of course, on Amazon. We've been promoting Amazon all episode here. I see Kindle. I see paperback. Will we get an audio version at some point?
You are the second person that has asked me that, and I keep going back and forth on it. I can't stand the sound of my own voice, so because I'm here on your podcast, right? So I will not record it myself. I've thought about doing it, but I have not yet, and here's why. Because I tell some of the stories in the book when I do my presentation. I talk about most of the content, or I touch upon it in my presentation, my interactive presentation. So right now I'm saying, no, if you want to listen to me, you got to book me to come talk to your company or your association or your whatever. That's how you get to hear me tell it live, straight from the horse's mouth.
I love it. I love it. Book a time to talk to Matt. I love it. I love it. In fact, that is a great segue for those folks out there listening that need to up their company culture. Or they want to, maybe introduce a new CEO, or, maybe they want to provide something of real value to their client, or not their clients, but their teams. How do people work with you, Matt?
Easiest way is to go to the website, premierteambuilding.com. You can spell it correctly, Premier, or incorrectly with the E after that, and it will take you to us. There's the English
Smart.
I came to a point finally, and that's the best way. There's a contact form there, and I would love to hear from people, and let's make some magic.
Yeah, man. Listen, if you want to, again, raise that company culture, get with Matt, please. He is a super fun guy. Amazing to be around. Matt, I can't thank you enough for coming back twice on this little episode and this little podcast. I appreciate it so much.
You're so sweet. And I'm working on my second book. So once that's done, I'm going to say, Heather, you want me to come back again?
Yep. And I'm going to say, absolutely. What else can we talk about? Yeah. You're always welcome here, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So make sure to get out there, take the fear out of team building. It's on Amazon, premierteambuilding.com, right? Premierteambuilding.com to get with Matt. And of course, you're on all the socials. So if you want to check Matt out there as well, definitely LinkedIn and all the other networks there. So Matt, thank you so much. Good luck, brother, with your second book. I will be there to help you out and promote it whenever it comes out. And I hope you have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thanks, Heather.
I'm Heather Holloway, and you've been listening to Practical Talk. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me and my team. Hey, remember, check the show notes for resources and links to other episodes. And don't forget, new episodes are released every Wednesday.